I met my wife's parents for the first time, her mom threw wine in my face and said, "That's to disinfect a poor man. Her monthly expense is $140,000. My wife laughed, so I smiled and said, "I'm canceling all business with your company." The waiter had barely set the wine glasses on the table when the first insult came crashing down. Literally. Red wine, dark and expensive, splashed across my face and shirt. For a moment, the restaurant fell silent. All eyes turned toward the immaculately dressed woman across from me, my wife's mother. She sneered as she lowered her glass with dramatic flair and said, "That's to disinfect a poor man. My daughter's monthly expense is $140,000. You think someone like you can keep up?" The wine stung my eyes, but not as much as what happened next. My wife, Emily, didn't rush to defend me. She didn't gasp in shock or scold her mother. No, she laughed, a rich, hollow laugh that didn't sound like the woman I had fallen in love with. She even added, "Oh, Mom, you're terrible," as if this were all some inside joke I was too lowly to understand. That was when something in me snapped. I didn't yell. I didn't retaliate. I simply picked up my napkin, wiped my face, and offered a small smile. Then I looked directly at her father, Richard Carrington, the CEO of one of the largest supply chain corporations on the East Coast, and said in a calm, icy voice, "Mr. Carrington, I'm terminating all contracts with Carrington Holdings effective immediately." He blinked. "Excuse me? I'm the sole managing director of Hayward Logistics, your primary distributor. You mock me for being poor, but I've been personally overseeing the handling and transportation of your goods for the past 6 years. Starting tomorrow, I'll be reallocating our assets and freezing all shipments." Emily choked on her wine. Her father paled, but I wasn't done. I stood slowly, pulling out my phone, and with a few quick taps, forwarded a termination order to our legal department and logistics team. "Consider your warehouses isolated and your supply chain frozen until you find a new distributor. Best of luck finding someone who can do it at my rate, especially during the holidays." Then I turned to Emily, and for the first time in our marriage, I saw her as a stranger. I ignored the warning signs, but tonight, thank you for the clarity. I buttoned my jacket, dropped a few bills on the table, not for them, but for the server, and walked out. I didn't need to raise my voice. My revenge had already begun. The morning sun lit up my penthouse apartment like a spotlight. I didn't sleep much, but not because of heartbreak. No. I spent the night with my legal team, and every minute had been a calculated move on a chessboard Emily never realized she was standing on. By 7 a.m., my phone buzzed violently on the kitchen counter. Caller ID, Richard Carrington. I let it ring. Then came a flurry of texts. "Richard, let's be reasonable. Richard, this affects thousands of workers. Richard, you don't want to make this personal. Richard, we can offer you a revised contract, higher rates." I took a sip of my black coffee and replied with one sentence. "This became personal the moment your wife threw wine in my face and called me poor." 2 seconds later, the phone rang again. This time it was Emily. I answered. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded, her voice trembling. "Why did you laugh?" I asked coldly. There was silence. Then, "You embarrassed my family." "No, Emily," I said calmly. "Your family embarrassed themselves, and you stood by them. You mocked the man who built you the life you flaunt." She tried to play the victim. "It was just a joke. You know how Mom is. She's toxic, but I expected better from you. I gave up everything to build a future with you, and you repaid me with mockery in front of strangers."